I am Mose representing that K.O.B.K, and you know we are drinking at Mose.
This is Drinkin at Mose, where we talk about the pros of pro wrestling in the Midwest while sipping on some brews with blessed beers and wrestling. That's my scene. Death matches and lucha libre, it's also mean. I'm a straight up smart goofball, not no kiss ass. I stand tall when it comes to wrestling. I'm the king. I know every move, every fling. Get ready for a wild time with Drinkin at Mose, where we don't quit. Drinkin at Mose, that's where it's at. Like a power bomb, we hit hard, never flat. Fucking right, we're living the dream. Talking about wrestling, always a scream.
All right, everybody, taking time out before we get this show started. I want to thank Reaper Apparel for having Drinkinatmos be a brand ambassador for their clothing line. They got good stuff. They got t-shirts, they got hoodies, they got beanies, they got lots of great stuff, encouraging everybody to break out of their comfort zone, live their best self, and hey, it's something I try to live every day. Now, be sure when you go and you're finishing filling out your order, use the code Drinkin at Mose, get 10% off, and the link and the code will both be in the description. Let's fucking go. All right, everybody, welcome to Drinkin at Mose. Big Mo here. You know the drill button now. YouTube, like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff on the YouTube, because that algorithm is a pain in the ass. We're most places you find audio too. Leave a review. Leave a good review there. Today, I'm excited to have with me because, yes, I am Big Mo. This is Drinkin at Mose. But I also have today with me Mose. How you doing?
What's up, man? Doing great. Happy to be here. Yeah, I love the name just for the we're like an E off and we'd be the same.
I know, right? Yeah, it for me, it came from my time in the Navy. Like, they took the first two letters of my actual last name, and it ended up sticking with me when I got back. So I just ran with it.
That fits, yeah, for
But
sure.
oh yeah, no, good times. So first thing I'd like to start off with everybody with is what got you started as a fan, and then how did you end up getting into this crazy business we all know and love?
Yeah, so became a fan early 90s. I was born in 90, so I always say WrestleMania 14 was the night I could trace it back to. My older brother took me to a buddy's house, and I was just, amazed. Like that car, looking back on it, there's so much crazy stuff on it, all kinds of. I mean, everything
Oh
we were
yeah.
gonna get right that we love. Like you got the cruiserweights, you got the hardcore stuff, you had the big main event. So that is the night. But I also like I went away with it a little bit. I've lost it at times, but it's always been a part. Like I'll go back. I love telling people that I had no idea about independent wrestling until I was a teacher. I thought like WWE and ECW and WCW, like that was it. So I had a buddy like junior year of high school show me Ring of Honor, and it was, oh my gosh. So yeah, no, I loved it. I got busy like doing college. I got into college, and I kept football. I'm a huge football fan. You know what I mean? Like only so much time, so I lost a little bit of that. I would come back, for Cena. I would come back for The Rock. I'd come back when I saw like a random, this looks fun. But I really got back in 2017, actually 2016. I guess I was
Sure.
cool.
All right, technical difficulties, but hey, shit happens. So we're
On me.
talking
Yeah,
about
sorry.
how you got in there like 2016.
Yes.
2017 when you started getting into like the independent side of things.
Yeah, yeah. So finishing up at ETSU, and I did a wrestling podcast as like one of my senior projects. And
Mm,
yeah, yeah, it was just, WWE, New Japan, big time, big box wrestling, if you will. And then
yeah.
I had a random friend I met that got me. He was a friend of someone that ran a promotion called NGW in Knoxville, Tennessee, or I guess the Knoxville area. Um, and I went as a fan, and I asked if I could interview him, and he was really cool and like super welcoming. And like that was, so that was the podcast thing. And then I finished school and I said, you know what, man, like I want to do something for me. So I had a buddy that runs an even small, a way smaller promotion. And I said, I'll come film all your shows. I'll edit them. Just let me do commentary. Like that's all I asked. I didn't ask for money. I'll do all the grunt work if I can just call your matches. And of course he was like, yes. So that was my way in. Like I'll do all the work for no money was my way in. And the stars align, man, because like who was at that show but Brett Eisen? Brett Eisen, I met him, gosh, like right away. I mean, if my first show working there, like doing commentary, my first show ever doing commentary, Brett was there. We hit it off really quick. And I just did that for years. I just kept plodding at it. They ran a lot. Like it's one of those, they ran 2, 3 times a month. So I was getting a lot of
Holy.
reps. Yeah, yeah. So I was able to, do it's terrible commentary. Like I listen back now and it's just
Yeah.
it's so bad. But I got a lot of reps fast.
True.
And that's how I look back on it, man. Anytime I'm back home, which isn't a ton now on Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, but whenever I am on a Friday, I like to go back and show love to Resolute, to Caleb, who gave me, again, like it wasn't, out of all the way the goodness he got me. There's multiple shows he put up on high
Yeah.
spots that, but yeah, for sure. Anytime I can go back to Res, that was how I got in. And then Brett
Yeah.
Eisen is, where my story really gets going was Brett Eisen and just being a part of his, his journey and helping him, driving him to shows and just trying, anything, let me do anything. And then COVID, man, like COVID, some opportunities opened up and I've not looked back.
Oh, yeah. And, it's weird how something that took away so much from so many ended up coming up with some opportunities for a lot of people, like, especially in the independent wrestling business,
Yeah.
that was how, you got your opportunities. I know, for some of the people that actually still ran during that time, like to keep afloat. Yeah, they were given all sorts of people opportunities, and boom, that's where another boom period kind of came out of a bunch of chaos.
Without a doubt. I mean, that's when I was working for New South and Alabama. We were running a lot of shows, man, in a time when not a lot of promotions were running. So we were putting together 2 or 3 shows a month. We were doing quote unquote TV tapings for I can't remember if it was our Monday or Tuesday night show. Like every week we had, new 3 to 5 match card for you, plus the big, the quote unquote pay-per-view show. So there were some nights, we were doing 14, 15, 16 matches, in a single night. Which I know for my Paradigm fans, that's just an average, that's just another day. But but so yeah, it was the same way, man. It was a lot of reps, and that there was a great locker room, man. You had Adam Priest, you had Derek Neal, you had Brett. So I'm learning a lot, and I'm getting to call a lot of good matches now. So and you said it was. I mean, I couldn't tell you how many shows we ran in such a short amount of time. Right after that, man, because it was so a lot of states you couldn't run, and Alabama you could, and we had masks, and there were things that we tried to for sure not ignore what was going on in the world, but for sure took advantage in a way. And yeah, I totally understand everybody that stepped away, but it was like my whole mentality was for So from 2017 to 2020, I was just looking for an opportunity, the smallest crack in, and
Oh,
I finally kind of got it,
yeah, and hell, that's where I've kind of been at with jumping into commentary.
Hmm.
I had well, keyword had a friend that was running wanting to run a promotion for based around a lot of mental health awareness charities, and we'll go into this part off camera because yeah, I get a little heated off of it because there's a bit of a
Mm.
falling out and getting screwed out of work. So
Mm.
it is what it is. But yeah, I get a little too heated when going into the specifics on that.
That's fair.
But you know, any little opportunity that I can get, I'm kind of in the same boat right there. And you know, people don't often think, and I've been lucky enough to have a bunch of people that have filled a lot of these roles on the podcast, that obviously pro wrestling business, you're thinking of the people in that ring putting their bodies on the line, pulling off some
Yes.
absolutely crazy shit a lot of the time. But there's also so much more that goes into it, from various aspects of production, from commentary, ring announcing, the backstage interviewers, the people holding the damn cameras, all sorts of stuff. What has it been like for you trying to, what do you try to bring to the shows that you're on to kind of highlight that? Because it's a very important part of the show that, yeah, people pay attention to the part that, I mean, that's what they're meant to, but
Right.
there's parts like the commentary that can bring in a lot of people because they sense that excitement, and then boom, it just draws them in.
Yeah, that's what I've tried to do is I've tried to because I'm very I get excited, man. Like I said, I'm a sports fan my whole life. I'm a wrestling fan majority of my life. So I get it. Like the Dylan Hell's nickname for me, Jumpin' Johnny Mosley, that like
Mm,
as it's definitely an inside joke with all like Dylan loves hitting that when he can because it's something I didn't think about for so long. That was just that's I had to get it out. So for my commentary, I try to bring I bring that out excitement. I think I look at it from a sports mentality more than entertainment. I think a lot of commentary now is very entertainment based, and that's. I'm not saying I don't do that too. You
yeah.
have to like but I like to look at it from an MMA like a
Mm,
like a sports. I grew up as a my dream, my OG dream was to be a football commentator. I wanted to be John Madden.
yeah.
Um, so
Gotcha.
wrestling, like I'm living my dream. I'm getting to commentate and tell stories, and that's
Yeah.
the other thing I really try to bring is the storytelling. You know what I'm saying?
Ah,
Like,
yeah.
there's always a story. You could put two. I mean, yeah, you put two people together. I don't really need to know anything about them, and I can find some kind of story. Um, but I'm also I call all the matches for, like you said, for the talent in the ring. Like
Yeah.
I don't call it for fans. I don't call it for me. I call it for them, and I think that's another thing I bring that kind of mindset.
Oh, yeah. No, I definitely can agree there. Like, I know the limited chance I've had, I definitely try to bring that, for me, bring that mentality. Like, if I were just
Yes.
there sitting at the show, just as a fan, and the excitement that I get, just watching it, that's what I tried to bring to
Yep.
commentary. Like, I I'm very much, when I'm in the crowd, I'm I'm a natural goofball. So like there'll be stuff that like I try to bring that goofball excitement, so that way whoever might be listening to, like, they might have it on in the background, and they'll
Hmm.
like what I would want to do is like somebody doing that, and then they hear the excitement that I'm having in that moment, like, oh God, I gotta pay attention to this, that sort of thing. Because
Yes.
I mean, I'll admit, yeah, my I had some shaky moments and some ones that I'm still kind of proud of, like getting commentary
Yeah.
partners to crack, or because when I'm in the crowd, my goal is to get somebody to crack, like wrestler, referee, somebody. And the fact that I was able to do that like twice in one show, I'm like, I'm very much the Pat McAfee of the commentary team. Just that goofball high energy.
And I definitely think that's something that's missing a lot of commentators. I think it's almost controlled. It's almost too controlled excitement at times. So I'm a big, I want it to feel real. I want it to feel genuine, man. Because at the end of the day, we're all fans, whether it's,
Oh yeah,
like you said, all the production. If you're in wrestling at all, right, you're a fan. So that's an
oh yeah.
important voice, and it's an important side of this that we don't forget. I mean, it's fun. We're supposed to have fun.
Oh no, most definitely. Like hell, I even I even slipped in a poop joke in there. Like they were like I I the, another thing we'll go into off camera, but the they're making announcements towards the second show. And okay, I'm the type of person that, like, if you give me an opening for a joke, I'm taking it. And somebody, the one of my commentary partners, ended up saying something about, oh, it's looking like a solid number two show, and I'm like, oh God, you shouldn't
There it
have done
is.
that. I just like, yeah, because nobody likes a runny number two. And he just like, God damn it, had to pause for
Got
like
him. Yeah.
a minute because I got him that good. I'm like, hey, you gave me the
Yeah, this
opening,
is
I took it. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
the
my sense.
slide, don't look over when the alley oop.
Oh yeah, but I was gonna say you mentioned about New South, and I have been lucky enough to have a bunch. Well, I've had a handful of people on from there, including some people that have worked with commentary there. I've seen you with Carmen Michael.
Yep.
He was a fun show, fun to have on. What was it? And well, actually, also I don't want to forget wrestling's BFF Nick Manawa. I've seen you with
Oh
him a
yeah.
couple times. What was it like for you working there? Because those two have done they've been like all over. Like Carmen Michael, he's done a little bit of everything, a little bit of everywhere.
Yeah, I think he's doing what I did a couple years ago. You're just trying to get your name out there. Like, I think I did GCW in like 9 or 10 states,
Mm,
across, just a few months,
yeah,
not long ago, man. Like it's the opportunities are there if you get out there and do them. When I worked with Carmen is right when he was first getting in wrestling. Like I had 3 years on him already working. So
yeah,
and we got put in a situation. It was kind of weird at times, and it wasn't his fault. It was other people's fault. So
yeah.
but Manawa, yeah, I mean Manawa, I've heard obviously listened to him for years. Like it was really cool to get to work with him. I know we had a really good time. We worked Chad French's shows a couple times. So anytime you can work, with Manawa, you're gonna have a good time, and such a
Oh yeah.
knowledgeable guy, and one that even now, like whenever I run into him, like he's just always got something like you're interested to hear him, whatever story or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh
all
yeah.
through Manawa, man. Like you said, like a real legend. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. No, totally. He was an absolute pleasure to have on because yeah, I'd seen him a handful of different places, and then he actually worked Ricky Shane Page's
Yeah, yeah,
show with Flash with another good buddy of mine, Peapod. That was awesome getting to hear those two guys together. I actually did a recording for the podcast with Ricky Shane Page for that show.
that's cool.
Yeah, and it's for a guy like myself, my own worst critic, to have people on that like Ricky Shane Page or like I he just told me this last week, John Wayne Murdoch had him on
Yeah,
again. And hearing from people of that stature telling I saying I don't do too many, but I'm doing yours. And I'm like, like talk about for somebody that never really thought a whole lot of themselves, to be quite honest, to have people of that stature give you that sense of validation that hell you probably never really realized you needed. It was like, holy crap, okay, I must be doing something right.
oh yeah, man. Like people on TV, that have gone on to do television and big box wrestling. They've when they were on the independents, I called their matches.
Yeah.
I was being told, they really appreciated how I called their work, and like it's what you're saying. People I look up to, people that I used to, I've watched on television. It's crazy. It's like that's the stuff I got to remind myself when I get frustrated.
Oh, that hell, like I've said, lately I've been going through a lot of that, and
Hmm.
it's definitely one of those things that you go through those frustrating moments, but then you get those little senses of validation from those people you look up to. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, I can breathe a little easy right now.
Yeah, man,
Definitely.
for real.
And one place that I've seen a lot on your social media that I've okay, I first got introduced to them through I believe it was a ICW No Holds Barred pit pit fighter show, one where like the
Hmm.
the ring surrounded by the cage and it's like
Yeah.
the
Yep.
ring mat's like on the floor. I think
Yes,
that
definitely
was
Pit
my
Fighter.
yeah, pit fire. Okay, I knew it had those names in there, but the amount of wrestling I've been watching lately, my memory gets a little fuzzy. But that
Fair.
was my introduction to TWE and the TWE arena. And I'm like,
Man.
holy crap. Like, I since watched other shows from there, watched other TWE shows, had TWE talent on. And it's just like the, yeah, for those that, aren't from the area that might not have an IWTV subscription, which I highly recommend.
Yes.
It's like, yes, it's a smaller arena, but holy crap, the energy that TWE is able to pack in there on a pretty consistent basis is something pretty special.
It really is. I think over 11 years now, TWE's been going. I've been there. I started ring announcing, then I did ring announcing and commentary. Now I just do commentary and manage my K.O.B.K boys from time to time. But that's real home for me. Like I say that with everything in my heart. Like I've earned everything there too, man. Like all I wanted to do was commentate, and they really made me earn it, but which I appreciate now. Like Dylan Hells is the one you earn your stripes with Dylan Hells. It matters. Jaden Newman.
Oh yeah.
So it's been really cool to see that rise, man, because it's something like you were please, like if you don't know much about TWE, please go back and watch the back catalog because man,
Oh
like
yeah.
so many greats. Again, we've had, Brett Eisen champion for a while there. Again, Derek Neal, Adam Priest has been in and out. Like the run Darian Bankston is on right now, over
Oh yeah.
500 days as champ. Like, yeah, TWE, you said it, very special place, and one that you're seeing such a mix of young talent right now, like a Jameson Shook coming out of the
Yeah,
TWE Performance Combine.
perfect. I've had him on, and yeah,
Yes, love
totally,
Jameson.
totally cool dude. And the other thing I like about TW right now is you definitely get like, I'm trying to think, the wrestling buffet sort of stuff where like a little bit of
Yeah,
something for everybody. Because hell, like I mentioned, my introduction to the TWE arena was through basically a deathmatch show. And they've had people come through there, like another former guest of mine, Tank, and the whole Coven of the Goat, and like the chaos
yep.
those guys can bring. And hell, it just recently with Jameson Shook as well, the TWE arena hosted H2O and the Tremont Tournament of Death, which I meant to ask you before, but I figured the way you introduced yourself, I probably got my answer. You were on commentary for that, weren't you? Because I recognized your voice first, and then I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I was that was very cool again for me. I was the anchor that whole weekend. So I did Friday was the TWE show and it was our Halloween show, one of our big shows of the year, Nightmare on Dayton Boulevard. Saturday was TWE versus H2O, and then Sunday, as you mentioned, was the Matt Tremont Deathmatch Tournament. Yeah, I was in there all weekend, every match. That was an honor for me. I got to work with a lot of cool people. Dylan was in there, Squids Putney, who's on the come up as a commentator, Rob Weathers, who is yeah, Rob is really my teammate at TWE. That we've the last year we've really, like, he's committed to TWE, and then that's something I think is really important if you can get it
Oh
as
yeah.
a committed team. So yeah, I appreciate you recognizing the voice, man, because that was a big honor. I actually was booked up there last year. I actually called Matt Tremont's deathmatch tournament 4 up at H2O,
Oh
Hardway
no
Heater.
kidding.
Yeah. I called the tournament matches, and then MLJ hopped up and he did the non-tourney matches. Um,
Okay.
but but yeah, like, so I was, of the 5 Matt Tremont death match tournaments, I've been on the call for 2 of them, and like, small town kid from Tennessee that, like, I've looked up to Tremont forever. That's
uh,
really
oh
freaking cool.
oh man, he like okay. I've been lucky enough, being the deathmatch fan that I am. I've been lucky enough, like I said, to have some of my personal favorites from the deathmatch rolled on. Like I mentioned, John Wayne Murdoch. I've had Tank. I've had the Rev. I, to think of it, there's only like 2 members of the Covenant of the Goat that I haven't had on yet. Um, God, I'm trying to think. Alex Colon. He was one of the
Oh,
first like
legend.
notches off of my deathmatch Mount Rushmore that I had on, and it's just I love that style. I love you
Same.
know H2O has been very good to me. I've lost count of how many that I've had on. Tremont still escapes me, so manifesting that I am going to be taking a small break from recording new stuff once my little guy gets here in about a little over a month now. But
Oh, congrats.
oh man, I'm pretty damn excited. Like
Oh yeah, man.
right around Christmas, they're planning on inducing my wife, but that's another story for
Oh,
another time. I could go on
fair.
about that, but I've been lucky enough to have a bunch of my favorites on. I've been lucky enough to witness a bunch of great deathmatch matches at shows. I've been to no ring deathmatch shows. Hell, behind my camera here, I literally got prize from a no ring deathmatch show that I ended up winning an event used item signed by everybody on the card, and
Yeah.
it's like half a door. I'm trying to figure out where the fuck I'm gonna put that, but like
I've got
it's
I've got half a door somewhere signed by Joshua Bishop and Reed Bentley, so I feel you.
uh, heck.
Yeah.
Talking about another name
And,
that, unless cards subject to change and all that, but as of right now, as of this recording, I am supposed to be recording with Reed Bentley on Monday.
oh yes. Legend, bro. I love Reed Bentley.
Oh yeah, like I literally told John Wayne Murdoch when I had him on last that my idea when I realized that that was going to be able to happen, that I was going to have them both, that like I try to keep my episodes to like 2 a week. I'm like, boom, I'm gonna release both of theirs on the same damn week. Make it a
Oh
week of
yeah,
the
rejects.
rejects. Oh yeah.
Love to see it. Love to see it, man. Yeah, I love both those guys for real. Like great dudes.
So for you, I mean, we've talked a little bit about what we feel, is special about TWE. With your experience there, what do you feel like, for the listeners and the people that will watch this, what to you makes TWE so special?
It's it's truly a family ran company. Obviously it's owned, it's owners, but it's ran by like every wrestling show. It's ran by the promoter, yeah, but it's ran by the locker room. Like your locker room decides everything, and the TW locker room is a family. It's a collection of vets and people that are a few years in and people that are just getting going in their journey. And it's welcome to everybody. We made that very clear. It's such a beautiful place to see people get to go and just again, the TW Performance Combine. I don't put my name on a lot as far as wrestling schools, but that's one. If in the area at all, and you're thinking of how do I get into wrestling, even if you don't end up going to there, like holler at Dylan Hells, Jaden Newman. Uh, they're going to give you good advice and try to help you in any way they can, and that's what sets TWE apart. And it's something that, again, ran two shows a month usually. So we're seeing each other a lot, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we just had a show a few days ago. We're less than a week out, and like I hadn't seen Heater in person in a minute, and he, kind of surprised us and showed up just to hang. And Sean
Yeah.
Campbell's getting to really, really get to grow in that next chapter of him, as well as Big Dave, someone you talked about New South, someone that's really a face of New South right now is Big Dave, the newest member of K.O.B.K, and we're seeing Dave really get to shine there, and that's a thing TWE, right? You can go, and it doesn't matter where you're at on your wrestling journey, man. You can get in there and you can have a crazy match. And you mentioned the energy there, that crowd. They know who they like and they know who they don't like. And if you can win that crowd over, that means something because
Mm,
of everything we've been able to bring in, from the Daniel McCabe's to now the Darian Bankstons and the hardcore wrestling, like you mentioned, the ICW coming in, the fans in the Scenic City, the Chattanooga area, they get to see so
oh
many
yeah.
different styles, right? So
Oh yeah.
it's a great crowd. It's a smart crowd, but it's also a little bit of a small Southern wrestling crowd still. It's one of a kind. And I think I can't say enough about, like you mentioned, Jameson, Will Steele. There's some young guns, Casey Owens, who like you're seeing Casey pop up more and more. And just a road dog like Casey, just real quick on Casey, the kind of talent that I needed somebody on short notice for a K.O.B.K or a K.O.B.K show recently in Indianapolis. And in less than a week's notice, Casey was ready to go, came in and had just a great match. So it's hungry, talented, good people at TWE that really separates,
Oh yeah. And one more little bit before I got a final question before my categories here.
Okay.
Talking about Jameson Shook, I want to give that dude props for
Yes.
how he did, like, I mean, how he's doing in general, but especially with that Tremont Tournament of Death, like, okay, before that show, I hadn't gotten too much experience getting to see him delve into the deathmatch world.
Mm-hmm.
But good Lord, one hell of a showing that he had in that show in particular, making it all the way to the finals and putting on a good damn show.
Yeah, Jameson, he's one of my like. I'm not gonna say he's one of my wrestling kids because I'm just like I'm the uncle to everybody. I'm the uncle that I give you advice, but I'm here to pipe you up. I'm here to, So Jameson knows I love that kid. I think so. He's a little over 18 months as a wrestler in wrestling, and he's had over 100 matches just in 2024, just this calendar year, over 100 matches. And as you pointed out, he hasn't done a ton of death match yet, but when he has, he's gone just all the way in, balls to the wall, as you have to, and that's why.
Yeah.
I mean, I could talk about Jameson all night. I love the hunger of that kid.
Oh yeah, no, I can definitely respect the drive. Now you've mentioned a few times about your group. What do
Yes,
you look for in bringing in people for that group?
it's really kind of we're all big Sons of Anarchy, so like fans. So when
Mm,
K.O.B.K started, we looked at it at kind of that mentality of it all right. It all goes to Prez, and Brett Ice is the Prez. So everything in a sense falls on his lap, but as like I'm kind of the consigliere, the VP. Like
yeah,
I have my fingers in a lot of pies for K.O.B.K. So we really are like kind of the head of that snake, and then you've got Heater, who has been such an important part of like keeping us active in Nashville. And we, Akira was a day like early guy. Basically, it started with me and Brett, and then Heater and Luther were added because they were just young, hungry talent. Like they just fit right away with us. We liked them. We hung out. Akira, we hit it off when Brett went to Wrestle Kingston for ICW, and then Sean Campbell was like the young gun. Now that's Big Dave. It's we're never really looking for a new member. It just kind of right. It just kind of like is very organic. Like I loved Sean Campbell before I ever met the kid, and that's kind of like I'd heard so much
yeah,
about. He's 22 or 23 now, and he's in wrestling since he was 14.
yeah.
So I heard a lot about him, and then I met Big Dave. He was still a fan when I just was getting started. After that, when COVID we talked about in 2020, when I really was hitting it hard as a commentator. So I love Dave. Like the first day we talk about all the time. The first day we met, we went for burritos and just goofed
Mhm.
and like. So you got to fit in with us. We got to love you. You got to bring a certain sense of like I don't care. It comes into battling, and that's what Big Dave. He'll go out on the sword. Jameson Shook's one that like. He fits, you know what I'm saying? Like he's one we're not looking for. We just had a Big Dave, but Jay Shook is one like he kind of fits. You got to have that style, man. You gotta kind of like have that people got to be scared of you a little bit, I guess. And yeah, it's been a cool journey, and it's been really really exciting to see now we've ran shows in two or three different states, and adding, Dave is it's really like Dave has been so good for us as we've been for him. Like he kind of got rejuvenated. We've got rejuvenated with his just he's so funny. Like we talk in the group chat every day. I talk to those guys literally. My wife is the only person I talk to more. And that's like it's a real everyday talk. So there's really no way to I guess it's like there's no way to get in. It's just you're just gonna like we're gonna tell you you're in, and
And then
if you
it's
yeah, like we didn't tell Dave at all. He wrestled Sean Campbell, and after the match he told us he thought we were about to like beat him up because we all got in the ring, and we just gave him he was like, I thought you were about to jump me. I was and it's like, no man, like we love you. So it's kind of that, man. It's that kill or be killed, that it's again, it's like family, man. It's everything
right.
about it is just so cool.
Oh, that sounds like a group right up my damn alley because I gravitate towards a lot of those personalities. Like, especially in like my fandom of wrestling, I gravitate towards those intense personas, those people that you might be a little afraid of out on the street. But, hell,
Mm-hmm.
one of my personal favorites now, God rest his soul, growing up, he scared the living shit out of me. But watching back his stuff, I'm like, dude, Bruiser Brody. Like,
Oh yeah, I was about to say. I hope you're going to say Bruiser.
oh yeah, totally, dude. Like, I watch back and just
Yes.
like I liken him in the same boat that I put Tomohiro Ishii in, another like a current day favorite of mine, where it's like
Yes.
he has that look on his face, whether he has a title or not, but especially when he does, it literally looks the look on his face looks like he's saying, "You're gonna have to damn near kill me to take this from me," and I love it.
Yeah. It's no. It's funny. Like Brett Ice. One of Brett's monikers, the Pitbull, Stone Pitbull. There was. There's some like Ishii's what we talk about all the time. Me and Brett love his matches, and I'm personally I love Brody. Like I've read his book. Like ate everything I could find on Brody. So yeah, you're speaking my language, bro.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh god, and hell, speaking of uh Bruiser, I've actually got to meet a guy that at least in New Japan when he was there, his entrance is very much Bruiser Brody esque in my head. Lance Archer.
Yeah, I see
When
that. I see that energy.
Yeah, especially those New Japan entrances, like just like you'd see people just scattering because they're like, holy shit, he's gonna throw something at me or some shit. I love it. And
Yeah, that's I do too. You can't beat that. You can't beat that kind of that energy at all. That image, like it just changes the room. It changes you at home every way.
oh yeah. All right. Now I have two categories here. First one's a bit of a name game where I name off some people and you give me some quick thoughts on them. And I try to theme
Okay.
it towards the guests as much as possible. And, talking about, Tennessee and Chattanooga, well, each of these people had a lot of history, either having been from there or they made a big name down in Tennessee.
Okay.
First one, doing some big things right now, teaming up with a person that stepped over from AEW, but Bianca Belair.
Uh, Huge fan. My wife is a diehard UT, like University of Tennessee volunteer fan. So just check marks across the board. I think that may one of the few action figures my wife has purchased.
I actually have one myself.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, no, just the way she carries herself and she has that
Yes.
connection. And Tennessee, okay, I got to comment on this with the college teams and stuff. I've seen pictures of you in Iowa Hawkeye gear. Well, and people think this rivalry, they make it way more into it than they need to, but I'm actually from Omaha, Nebraska.
Oh, no, okay.
From like I actually work in Lincoln. Like I can
Oh,
see
we're right there.
I can see the stadium as I'm taking the exit to go to where I work. So it's just like I saw the stuff in the Iowa Hawkeye gear, and it reminded me of one of the last times I got to meet up with Manders.
Oh
And
yeah, my boy.
oh, dude, love him to death. I've not had one bad interaction with him, But knowing him and his history with the Iowa Hawkeyes, I joked with him one of the last times I saw him, and I said, "Who said a Hawkeye and a Husker couldn't get along?" And he just laughed.
Yeah, he great guy. Another one I've known Manders for years. I knew him basically as soon as he got into wrestling, or I mean, literally like right away. I met him at Sup. But yeah, he that was we're Caitlin Clark fans. When it comes to football, I'm actually a Notre Dame. I'm a huge Notre Dame fan. But
Gotcha.
we traveled to see Caitlin Clark play at Iowa a few times for my wife. She's like diehard Caitlin Clark fan. But it was cool. Manders gave us some places to eat when we were in the greater Iowa area.
Oh, I figure he would definitely have those. I've been lucky enough, I think only once or twice here in Omaha. Most of the time that I've ran into him has been at Revolver.
Yes.
I've ran into him there because they kind of, for the most part, flip flop between Dayton and Des Moines. Des Moines literally like maybe
Mm-hmm.
2.5 hours from me. So I get to go
Oh,
periodically.
nice.
And as of this recording, I am actually going to season finale December 7th. I'm pretty damn excited.
Oh,
All
yeah,
right.
man. Yeah, those are
Next.
crazy fun shows.
Oh, God. They're like a damn party the whole fucking time. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Next up here, Jeff Jarrett.
Of course, Jeff Jarrett guy. I'm not like so. Nick Manawa is the Jeff Jarrett guy. So I'm not that level. But yeah,
Yeah.
without a doubt, JEFF, JRRETT, man, Tim and Tennessee Lee were an important part of me in the late '90s, and then him and WCW. So yeah, I mean, again, total legend. You're 2 for 2 when it comes with my opinions right now.
Oh, yeah. And the thing I've noticed with him is there's that section of fandom that for some reason doesn't like him, but then you get like people that have like worked with him, and
Yeah.
I
Yep.
don't hear too many, if any, bad words about him. So it's like, okay, who am I really gonna trust on that spectrum? People that have actually interacted with him, or people that are just, I mean, everybody has their opinions on wrestling. It's very subjective. But when you've
Yep.
actually legit worked with the guy, I think, at least in my head, your opinion carries a little more weight to it.
Yeah, and it's true in wrestling. Like everybody has different experiences, so it's like it's a crazy business, and that's the most professional wrestler maybe ever, Jeff Jarrett.
Okay. Next up, a guy that I have actually gotten to meet on one occasion, James Storm.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, I've been around James Storm a few times. He wrestled Brett Eisen. That's another. I think like in McMinnville maybe, or maybe Lewisburg, Tennessee, a few years ago. I got to see Brett Eisen wrestled James Storm, which was a big match for Brett, and of course a big T. We're all big TNA fans, so
Oh, yeah.
like that was super cool guy that night, man. Like yeah, great with the crowd, great with the fans, signed every autograph. Like totally was a cool dude.
Oh, yeah. I had completely pleasant interactions with him, but really only the one time I've got to meet him. But yeah, I loved him, and TNA from America's Most Wanted through Beer Money
Mm-hmm.
and all that. Oh man, me being the fan of
Yeah,
tag team wrestling that I am,
yeah.
I was all into all of that.
Same. Yeah,
All right.
big. That was another like Samoa Joe and TNA was
Oh,
such a big deal for me. You know what I mean?
oh yeah, he's
Like
Samoa
that
Joe
whole
is
run,
still.
that whole era.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yes.
Samoa Joe still current day one of my favorites. Last but not least here, funny enough, I was actually just watching a match of his from the original ECW. The late
Okay.
great Tracy Smothers.
Oh, great. I mean, I had the pleasure of being around Tracy a few times. Always great wealth of knowledge, always giving out advice, trying to make the show better. Didn't matter how big or small. Yeah, I just RIP, and then again, thankful I had, the opportunities to learn from him the little bit I did.
Oh yeah, I've definitely heard a lot about being very very giving, very
Yes.
like oh god, I just came across the picture of him backstage just looking, at
Yeah.
least at the time, was by himself, just sitting there at the monitor watching the whole show. And when you have people that have been there, done that, like him, that are willing to do that for the younger talent out there, and
Hmm.
being able to give that wealth of knowledge that he had to the younger talent, and not be one of those stereotypical gatekeepers trying to hold on to your air quotes spot.
Spot. Yeah, man.
People like him, man, nothing but love and respect there for sure.
Yeah, literally, the Resolute, the show I mentioned, that was my first step in. He came down for a couple of our big shows. We had him, and he watched every match. And like, even a show like that, it'd been easy for him to maybe come in and leave early, whatever, whatever, and just absolute gold. Like, and that was early for me in wrestling, so I was very nervous to be around him, and it just such a great experience.
Oh yeah, I definitely, my commentary debut, not for Tracy Smothers, but I got to, in one half of the main event, was cheeseburger, and
Nice.
that was like holy crap. And like, me being like the, oh god, okay, I want to
Yep.
just go say thank you at least. And but then, hell, just a total pleasure to work with. And with the podcast, and as of this recording, I haven't gotten to air the episode yet, but actually my 300th episode, which will be airing in like a couple weeks, is with him.
Very cool, man. Congrats.
So thank you very much. Yeah, a point that I never personally thought I'd ever get to. But hey, here I am, and now I'm recording stuff for the 300 and beyond.
Like Spartans,
Definitely.
you know what I'm saying? Let's go.
Oh, yeah. Hell, 301, Crash Jackson.
Nice.
Yeah, that was awesome. Oh, God, I can't. He is supposed to be at the next Revolver show that I'm going to. So I love getting to, watch people that I've had on, but actually to get to be there live as they're in there, that's something
Hmm.
else. Like something that, it's just a little something extra special.
Yeah, totally agree.
All right. Next up, I got some random questions. Some might be wrestling related, some might not be.
Okie dokie.
Some might have absolutely nothing to do with anything we've talked about so far.
I'm here for it.
Oh, yeah. So, first one, craziest in match moment that you were there to call.
Oh, craziest in match. Oh, man. There's been some crazy death match spots.
I
Oh
bet.
God, oh God. Actually, it may be, it would have to be Masha Slamovich and Sean Campbell. And Masha, I thought absolutely killed Sean. Like, as a, it, I just, I look back on it now and I get nervous, even though the kid's fine. So, yeah,
Yeah,
Sean Campbell, Masha Slamovich, K.O.B.K sold out one.
nice. I
Ugh.
Masha actually had a little cameo in an episode of mine with Akira. I
And
was
go.
like,
Yep.
oh, dude, love the guy. Such a well-spoken dude too. But
Yeah.
I remember thinking, well, man, maybe she'll peek in here. And then, like, at one point, I forget where it was, but like she was getting ready to leave or something to go somewhere. And all of a sudden, you just see her head like poke out of the corner. And I'm just like, hello. It was funny.
Yeah,
But,
Masha rules. Always
oh,
good to see Masha.
speaking of her and that plug-in revolver again, but a match that has been announced for that show, Masha Slamovich versus Cruel.
Oh yeah, nuts, absolutely crazy.
Oh man, I'm so much looking forward to that. Oh man, that one's gonna be hell. Revolver held the first ever death match that I got to actually witness in person. And it was Jake Christ versus Joel Bateman.
Oh wow, yeah, shout out, yeah, bro. I haven't seen either one of those guys in a minute. Two great dudes.
Oh, totally. Like I have a picture with Joel Bateman after that match, and he's all smiling and his face is all bloodied up, and I'm like, dude,
Yep.
this is fucking awesome. Because it ended by them like taking like four folding chairs. There was like a group of folding chairs, two panes of glass, and then Bobby Olson rolls in with a thing of lighter fluid and they lit the glass on fire.
Oh, buddy, that sounds about right.
Yeah. And Jake, I've nothing but love for that guy. He is the perfect example of a deathmatch wrestler that can go regardless of deathmatch or not. Because
For sure.
I've seen him do like lucha matches, like a lucha, I think it was a lucha triple threat actually at Revolver. I've seen him do death matches there. And what a stand up dude. Like
Yes, for real.
my my wife and I try not to, with the new one coming, I'm trying to think past this, but my wife and I actually, before we're pregnant with twin girls, they got born premature and only made it a week.
Oh
And
man.
like I took time off of recording anything. I didn't go to any
Yeah.
shows. One of the first shows that I went to after that little break was a Revolver show. And I literally had a solid, it must have been damn near 20-minute conversation with him outside of the venue, talking nothing about wrestling, just all about what I'd been going through with all of that. And like, I was already a big enough fan of him before that. After that, professionally, personally, just nothing but love.
Yeah, it's a real person, and that's a every experience I've had with him is the same. I'm happy, you know what I'm saying, he was able to lift up like, that's beautiful.
Oh yeah, I believe he's don't I might be wrong, but I believe he's supposed to be at the Revolver show. So I look forward to any chance I get to see him.
For real, man.
And next up here, you mentioned before when I was reaching out to record tonight that
Hmm.
you're going to be doing some traveling here soon. I know I have some places that on my traveling bucket list, some of which I've actually got to notch off. Others I
Oh
have
yeah.
not. What are some places that are on like your travel bucket list?
I've been really lucky to go. I've been to Italy twice now, and that was huge. I love the culture, I love the wine, I love
Oh,
the food. Um,
been there myself, and I can
yeah,
totally
right.
agree.
It's both times, man, just like so much fun, so like great energy. We did Egypt last year, which it was a place I never thought about really going. As weird as that is, it just felt so grand.
Yeah,
but we lucked out and we got to do that, and that was like maybe the best trip of my life.
Huh.
It was really, really, really cool. We're about to do so a big one we're about to do for me is we're about to do Germany, we're do Prague.
Nice.
Yeah, we're doing a really cool little like boat trip thing and hitting, that's we start in
Okay.
Amsterdam and work our way across.
Okay.
The I really want to do Ireland. My wife and her family went when she was like a teenager, but there are talks we're maybe got loosely planned to go try to next year go for like a week to Ireland.
Nice.
That would be a big get because again I've been like there's not a ton of places like I really like you're saying bucket list like there's places I'd be cool to go to, but I've been really blessed and if we could do Ireland, I'd like to do Scotland. But if we could do Ireland, that'd be a huge get for me.
Oh yeah. Hell, I'm speaking of Scotland, Ireland, and I'm part German, Irish, and Scottish. So to be able to go to those myself would,
Yeah,
def-
see, yeah,
would
man.
definitely be on there. Italy was fun. Getting to funny story. Some people that were in the group I was with, they I guess weren't reading up on you know pizza over there. They
Okay.
went like I was reading this travel book the entire flight over and found out, oh yeah, over there, if you want pepperoni like we have here, you're needing to get like salami over there.
Yes.
And because if you get pepperoni there, you're getting hot peppers.
You
Well,
get hot peppers or the cupped.
yeah. And people learned that the hard way in my group
Oh
because
no.
they got the peppers.
Oh man.
And I was like, I just remember trying to hold it in because I'm like kind of laughing my ass off.
Yeah.
But I've been lucky enough with you know, without the Navy, with that, I've been lucky enough with the Navy to go to a bunch of places that I probably never would have gotten to see without it, from like, you know, Philippines, Thailand,
Oh
Singapore.
wow.
Those were wow. Malaysia was probably one of my favorites because I got to go to a wild elephant sanctuary and
Oh my gosh.
they had like a little river going through there. And at one point they said, okay, if you want to get in there with them, you can. And I'm just like, wait, you're telling me I get to swim with elephants? Yes, please. And then,
Yo, that's crazy.
oh man, so much fun. And, before we move on to the next question,
Yeah.
I actually, having been born and raised in a Catholic home, going to church and seeing the stations of the cross along the
Hmm.
walls, I actually on my deployment got to actually go to Israel.
Oh wow. So yeah, we were at the Dead Sea. I got to see Israel, but did not
Yeah,
get to go. That's crazy.
yeah, I actually got to go, and that was
Wow.
something wild because I remember coming back and going to church with my parents and talking with the priest afterwards, and like I can't even look at those things the same anymore because I'm like, I've been there,
Mm.
saw that, I remember that one. So yeah, craziness. And you brought up Egypt. I
Hmm.
remember, I didn't actually, much like you got to see, getting to see into Israel. That was much like me with Egypt because to get to Israel, we actually went up through the Suez Canal, and
Wow.
actually that was one of the places we actually got to actually be outside as we're transiting. And I specifically remember a flatbed truck with an automatic gun on the back of it patrolling each
Hmm.
side.
Yep.
And I was just like, this is wild.
Saw a lot of those kind of trucks when we were in Egypt. They're very, very military presence is known, and the thing we dealt with the most that I guess we felt every day was pretty much everywhere we went to, we had to go through like a bomb screen.
Ah,
Not like everywhere, but
It
kind of like, a lot of places.
oh God, the first place when I went to Israel, I went on a tour over to Jerusalem, and the first thing they told us when we got on the bus was, "We're not expecting any rocket attacks today."
Yeah.
I just looked at the guy like, "That's what you're leading off with?"
Yep.
Okay.
They were happy to have Americans there, so everyone was super polite and like I have nothing. Like, I know I was on a very lucky, like, we had a cool, cool guide, cool tour. Like, everybody else in this big tour guide got or tour group got scared, so
Mm.
it was supposed to be kind of like a 20 to 30 group, but everyone else, so it was just us. Everyone else said they canceled, so we got like a really sick tour, just me and my wife and her family. Like, it was like they needed to fill spots in a sense, so we kind of got in, and
Hey,
it was crazy.
that does sound crazy, and hell, sounds like a lot of fucking fun too.
We got to go in a couple like real like we got to see all obviously all the pyramids, and got to go in a couple pyramids, and that was the probably the coolest of the whole trip, was going inside a pyramid.
Ow.
Hmm.
And maybe some of my next question might be used towards traveling to some of these places, but what would be one of the first things you would do if you had what I like to call fuck it money, or like just a normal amount of money that you could just basically do just about anything with? What is one of the first things you'd do?
So the first thing, I'm getting a jet.
Mm.
That's the simplest answer. Like, Step step two or step one originally was I just go crazy on a wrestling show and get my boys, everybody. I get Suzuki for Brett. I get everybody who they want, right? So, but now that's step two, because step one is, if I have the jet, I can get, like, that helps get anybody I want to
Oh
wherever I
yeah.
want. You know what I'm saying? So that's the one, like, a jet, man. As much as we travel, like, I just got back from Vegas, and like, it's crazy to think how, like, sick, like, it's so, what I mean, it's so crazy to say spend that kind of money, like, it's stupid, but
Yeah.
it'd be so nice to do, just, like, what I'm saying, just drive on the tarmac and get on a plane and just go, like, and land, and not have to deal with airport or people like that.
Oh,
That's the move.
oh yeah, totally. Because hell, when it comes to bringing in people for a show,
Hmm.
you could just go
Exactly.
with the jet to get them yourself.
We go get them. Yeah, and we can have a show wherever. Like, I can fly all the K.O.B.K crew. We can have a show wherever, and like, because I've been trying to have a show basically anywhere that can get me a venue, because I can get people kind of anywhere. But yeah,
Yeah.
like, you see the vision. Like, we can literally anybody anywhere. Like, we're good.
Oh yeah. No, I that sounds like a damn good plan, actually. All right. We are, as of recording, on the heels of Thanksgiving, one of the biggest freaking eating days of the freaking year. Well,
Yes.
everybody has a favorite. What is a favorite typical Thanksgiving food for you?
Ooh, so yeah, I am a big smoked turkey. Like,
Okay,
my
smoked turkey. I
wife's
can dig that.
Yeah, yes. My wife's. I did not know about this, so I married up, and I've learned a lot about good living from my wife and her family. So, yeah, her dad makes these smoked turkeys on Thanksgiving that are just like, they melt in your mouth, like
Ugh.
everything. It's just perfection. Like, and that's something like that. If you'd asked me, younger me, it's like baked beans. Like, I was a side guy growing up. Like, I'm baked beans or I'm cheesy potatoes. But
Mm.
adult me, I think it's a smoked turkey.
Smoked, or
You get tired off
the
of it, right?
fried ones. You get
You
the big
oh yeah, those are good
thing.
too.
Oh yeah, smoked or fried. Oh yeah, so freaking good.
I've I saw a commercial. There's apparently Popeyes is doing Cajun turkeys.
I've
I'm
seen
intrigued.
that.
Yeah, I'm interested.
I'm definitely interested in myself. I know my dad has done in some of the fried ones. They'll have like these things you can inject in there, and there's been some like
Oh
kind
yeah.
of like Cajun sort of stuff. I'm like, oh, those were some of my favorite years when he did that.
Oh, dude, yeah, like it's again like her dad does. He'll when he really goes out. I'm saying he does. He like he'll get them real moist, and he's got like a light kind of pepper blend and a couple like it's just and then just slow and low heat right like on a really good smoker.
Oh,
It's just thinking about it right now. It's got me so fired up.
oh, God. Same here. Like you put that with mentioning sides
Some
stuffing.
sides.
I
Yep.
am stuffing. You get that with the mashed potatoes, and you get the gravy, and you just
Oh,
slather it on all of it. Mm, I am
you know
getting
you're gonna
hungry
nap
thinking about it.
later. Like, oh
Oh,
yeah, this is that's like it just makes you want to like so happy for Thanksgiving, you know what I mean? Like the
oh yeah,
day of it all. Like I just get as full as you want and take a nap and no one minds.
oh yeah, yeah. You can the holiday. You can definitely joke that they'll need a forklift to get you out the building. That that's one right there. I know I've joked about it myself. Oh,
We
all right.
traveled on Thanksgiving last year.
Oh
Real
yeah.
quick, we flew to Egypt on Thanksgiving last year, which was crazy.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
different. That is
It
definitely
was
different.
it was one of those we got the date and Haley, my wife, is so good with dates. Like that's Thanksgiving Day. It wasn't as bad as I thought, but yeah, that was an adventure to start the adventure.
I bet. I bet. All right. Now, with the name of a show like I have to ask this. Favorite
Okay.
drink, alcoholic or otherwise? Because, like, I like to tell people, just because it says drinking at Mose does not mean that it has to be alcoholic.
I'm the same way. I'm not a peer pressure at all, but I do enjoy an alcoholic beverage. I'm actually an old fashioned guy. Like
Okay. I've heard a few
if
people
you
bring
catch
those
me
up.
if you catch me if I was a little more kind of fired up, I would probably say Jack and Coke. I'm a big like if we're at the bar on a Friday night and we're kind of like listening to some live music, getting a little up, where it's a Jack and Coke, but like nice old fashioned man. Like it's a good
Okay.
sip and drink. Like yeah.
I can dig that. I can dig that. I do enjoy a good Jack and Coke, although
Oh yeah, dude.
I like putting a little grenadine in there.
Have done it. We'll do it again. I'm also too, since we're talking whiskeys, been known to go on a whiskey sour binge from time to time, man. And
Oh,
like I
I've
get
had it.
there. Oh man, I get the hiccups, but it's worth it sometimes. They're that good.
Oh man, yeah. I think one of the times I went with my family out for my birthday, brother-in-law bought me a couple of them, and yeah,
Oh
those can be good. Oh, non-alcoholic, I am a bit of a Dr. Pepper fiend. My wife likes to tell me,
yo, same.
Hmm?
We're a Dr. Pepper house, and also Pib. We've been if we can find Pib, we do Pib.
Yeah, I'm definitely one of those Dr. Pepper people that like if I
Hmm.
go to a restaurant and they say, "Oh, would Pib be okay?" I'm like, "Oh shit, yeah, no, you're fine."
Yeah. Oh, without a doubt, man. Like we found it. We're on the road somewhere. It actually may have been Iowa, and we found it in like some 12 packs. And Haley, we brought back a couple. We bootlegged some Pib back because it's like every now and then an ice cold Pib's kind of hard to beat. Like it's Dr. Pepper but spicy
Yeah,
somehow.
I can agree there. I
But I'm with
know.
you. Dr. Pepper is always in the fridge at the house.
Oh,
Yeah.
same here. My wife likes to tell me I got a problem. I tell her as long as there's Dr. Pepper in my fridge, I got it figured out.
Excellent. Yeah, that's Cokes or Dr. Peppers from my wife. Like usually there's always some variation of both, but there will be one, is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, no, I get you there. All right, now last but not least here, best advice you have for anybody wanting to get into the wrestling business?
Anybody? So I'll say from overview or I guess umbrella statement first would be patient. Um, take every opportunity. Doesn't matter, when you're first getting in, it doesn't matter how small, how big, how like take opportunities and do the best you can. Always swing for the fences. From a commentary standpoint alone, I would say just getting in as a commentator right now, get reps, eat as much reps as you can um, get your face out there, get your name out there, go and offer to help. Like for years, I offered to do everything from suite to set up the ring. Like I helped set up ring, you know what I mean? So if you're really trying to get after it, you just got to grind a little bit and put focus in, and you're going to get good results.
No, yeah, definitely. I I've been lucky enough. I got the chance, and I'm working on getting myself out there to
Mm-hmm.
try to hopefully get other places because much like I like the way Nick Manoa put it on a recent post that getting his name out there again and more that family first. So if you're gonna book him to potentially take time away from the family, make it worth it. And
Yeah.
that's where I'm at with my little one on the way. I'm like, I've talked with people. I'm like, if I'm going to be taking time away from my family, I want my time valued and making it worth me doing that.
Yep.
So as long as that's good, then hey, we're cool.
No, yeah, it's always about goals. My goals have changed so much from 2017 to now. So yeah, always know whatever the goal, like whatever it is in life and wrestling, whatever's number one, that's what's the most important. So yeah, like that's a great something to keep in mind.
No, most definitely. All right. Well, that is about all I have. But before we go, where can people find you social media wise? So if they don't already have their eyes on you, they can go ahead and get them there.
Please follow me at Mose K.O.B.K on pretty much all the social media. I'm going to be doing like an Njpw this Sunday. I think that'll be on High Spots within a week or two, and then next or yeah, Action and TWE the end of the month, and I leave as mentioned for Amsterdam. So please throw me a follow at Mose K.O.B.K and support TWE. Please support TWE, K.O.B.K, Action Wrestling. Thank you.
Oh, most definitely. I've actually sponsored a couple people from Action going on European
Oh,
tours.
yeah,
So,
man. Very much appreciate you, bro.
definitely an honor to do it. And I look forward to trying to do more of it in the future. But thank you again for taking the time to talk to me tonight. Best of luck out there, TWE, Action,
Yeah.
everywhere in between, and safe travels getting over there to Amsterdam and back.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Here's a part with a fucking button.